Good day, TedCapshaw here. As promised, following up just 2 weeks after boot camp. If you're anything like me, I really can't believe that it's only been 2 weeks since boot camp. I'm still rearing with energy. I've been reflecting back on the experience. Just a plethora of information, tons of inspiration, many connections and great stories were told at boot camp. And I was privileged to be a part of it and close it. And I promised to follow up, so here I am following up. So a couple things real quick. If you happen to be watching this video and you didn't attend boot camp, I strongly suggest, very strongly suggest, that you plan on attending the 2017 boot camp. I have never experienced such an intense in a good way, 3.5 days at any conference that I've ever attended in my entire career. And if you did attend, obviously I'm hoping to see you there next year. Second thing, if you're not part of the LinkedIn group, the AWAI LinkedIn group, sign on to LinkedIn, get on that. Steve graciously sent me an invitation to be a part of that. And man, you guys are posting stuff, getting stuff out there, sharing ideas. So that's another thing to get involved with AWAI. But for this video, I told you I wanted to follow up because we, and Joshua talked about it in our close, we didn't want you to go back with all this inspiration and information only to get slapped in the face with the reality of life. And so we wanted to make sure to do some follow-up. Today I want to get very practical, and this is why. You got a plethora of information, and in my close, I challenge you to ask the question, what would a great copywriter do? Right? And we talked about that a little bit, but I'm thinking that if you took all the information, you got all these action steps, all these things that you were supposed to do to follow up and propel you into your copywriting career, or accelerate you if you were already into your copywriting career, that your list is long, that there's just a ton of things to do. And then I go out and I tell you to go ask the question, what would a great copywriter do? That could probably add to that list, right? Make it a little bit longer. And so what I want to do today is break it down again, to give you a practical way to approach your to-do list and all these goals that you have with your copywriting career. And as I said in my close, sometimes the simplest things, the simplest concepts are not so easily executed. And this one that I'm going to throw out to you today, you may have heard of. I'm guessing that many of you have heard of, but I'm also guessing, I'd actually say I'm quite sure that many of you are not executing it in the way that it should be executed. And that is SMART goals. So if you don't have a pen and paper out while you're watching this, pause this real quick, get one, and then come back and be ready to write down this acronym that'll help you formulate your goals. All right, so I said SMART goals, right? All of us make goals in life. I'm hoping that all of us are making goals in life. Unfortunately, most of us make goals and we never see them through. And part of the reason is that we don't write them down. There's a ton of studies out there that say if you write your goals down, that you'll actually have a better chance of achieving them. Secondly, a lot of times we don't have any guidance in writing goals. But this SMART acronym, this SMART way of writing goals will do two things. One, it'll help you organize that long to-do list that you left boot camp with. And secondly, it will help you see more of your goals come to fruition. So what does the acronym stand for? Number one, S. That stands for specific. And what I want to do when I explain what the SMART is, I want to use losing weight, one of the universal goals that I'm guessing all of us have tried to do at one point or another. I'm going to use that as the example. So it's New Year's Eve, right? Let's hypothetically say it's New Year's Eve. And I say, I want to lose weight. I want my clothes to fit differently. I want to feel better about myself. I want to have more energy to play with those beautiful suns that you saw up on the screen at boot camp. And I just say, I want to lose weight. Is that specific? It's not specific. And that's what most of us do. So the S stands for specific. You want to make goals that are very specific. Instead of just saying, I'm going to write more specs, why don't you say, I'm going to write 3 specs this week? Don't just say I'm going to write more specs. Then by the end of the week, you could measure it, which the M stands for, measurable. You want to make goals that are measurable. So S, make them more specific, and also make goals that are measurable. So again, losing weight. You want to put a number on that weight. I want to lose 12 pounds by the end of January. Okay? The A in the SMART acronym stands for attainable. Now, this is one that we often screw up because oftentimes we are making goals that are unattainable, and that's dangerous to do, and this is why. Again, losing weight. If someone goes into New Year's and they say, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in January, and by the end of January, they've only lost 10 pounds, oftentimes what they'll do is they'll just quit. They'll no longer go along the journey of losing weight. And we don't want you to do that. So we want you to make attainable goals. Don't say you're going to write 10 specs this week because it's probably unattainable and you'll just get frustrated with yourself by the end of the week. Make a goal that is attainable for you and you'll oftentimes see those come to fruition. Okay? So the R in SMART stands for recorded. That just simply means write it down. Again, there's great studies out there that say if you actually write your goals down, you'll more often achieve those goals. So write them down, and secondly, put them in a place that are visible. Whether you put a Post-it note on your refrigerator or your computer or on a notepad that you look at frequently or on your iPad in the note section, wherever you look, make that goal visible so it's right in your face every day and you're reminded that you're up and coming, button up against having 3 specs done by the end of the week. Okay? And then the T stands for time frame, which I've already mentioned several times, but this is something that we don't do very often. We say things like ASAP. I'm going to write specs, more specs ASAP. That does not follow the SMART acronym at all. So again, it's a simple concept. It's universal. SMART is a widely known way of attacking goals and to-do lists. But I wanted to throw that out there because I know just 2 weeks out of boot camp, a lot of you still have to-do lists that are this long. Then I added that, ask yourself, what would a copywriter do every day? I don't want you to feel bogged down. So now it's time to slow down, pause, write down this SMART acronym, and when you're saying that you're going to do something, check it against that acronym. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Obviously, did you write it down? And what time frame did you put on it? Again, time frame should be attainable as well. Don't say you're going to write a spec in 10 days if it's really going to take you 20. All right? So that's all I wanted to leave you with in this first follow-up, but I will be following back up with you. But I wanted to check in. And again, before I leave you today, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for a wonderful experience at boot camp, for all the shout outs that I've gotten since then. I've been moved by the stories that people have shared with me about tragedy and about inspiration and their willingness to do what it takes to achieve this writer's life. So until the next time, this is TedCapshaw signing off. I hope you are doing well, and happy November.